Next on Good Morning El Paso.
It's your voice, your vote. Voters took to the polls and made their voices heard. We'll go over who won, who lost, and who gets to stay in the governor's mansion. Also,
There are a lot of disappointed people tonight, including me.
Democrats now watching a new wave of Republicans headed towards Washington as the GOP gains back control of the Senate. Why it was also a big win for women in politics.
and we'll find out today if a popular new franchise is headed toward the Sun City after all. Could you soon be shopping at a Whole Foods? Where it might be located, coming up.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso.
Take a look at that. The Empire State Building lit up in red overnight as Republicans rode the wave that swept them into control of Congress. As predicted, Republicans seized control of the Senate, picking up Senate seats in 7 states. The party also strengthened their hold on the House.
And despite the victories, House Speaker John Boehner says it's not time for a celebration, but instead a time for the government to address the still struggling economy. We have so much to cover. Good Wednesday morning, everyone. I'm Hillary Floren.
And I'm Stephanie Valle. It is 6:01. We have a lot of election results to get to this morning, but before we do, let's check in with Storm Track meteorologist Crystal Fly. And Crystal, it's rather chilly this morning.
Is chilly this morning, and it's going to be a cool afternoon too, very similar to the temperatures we saw yesterday. Instead of 70s or even 80s, we're going to be looking yet again at those low 60s for your forecast highs in a lot of places. Let's check in on your clouds and radar map. Part of the reason why we have a similar forecast to yesterday, which is a change from what models were earlier calling for, is that the system that's down to our south that was helping pump in moisture, it's kind of stalled around our area, meaning that we still have some rain moving through our zone. Hudspeth, Culberson County looking, as you can see, some green on radar, and we even have some more moderate rain that's starting to pick up around Interstate 10 just to the east of El Paso County. We'll have a light to scattered chance of rain in the forecast for parts of El Paso County. Elsewhere should remain mostly dry today as we start to transition out of the moisture. El Paso currently are at 51 degrees outside. Las Cruces all the way down to 40 degrees, and we do still have that moisture in place this morning. Relative humidity of 84%. In the days to come, we will track a warming trend. We'll look more closely at that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Crystal. Right now, it's your voice, your vote. Last night's election did see a lot of seats overturned nationwide, and of course here in the borderland, governor's races in 2 different states came to a head.
ABC 7's Andrew J. Polk is live with the latest on the results. Andrew.
Yeah, good morning, Hillary and Stephanie. Both Texans and New Mexicans went to the polls yesterday to decide who will lead their states for the next 4 years. Republican Greg Abbott gets a promotion from Texas Attorney General to governor. Here are the numbers. Abbott defeated Democrat Wendy Davis with 58% of the vote to her 39%. Abbott will replace Rick Perry, who was leaving after 14 years serving as governor. And in New Mexico, Republican Governor Susana Martinez will get another 4 years in office. She defeated Democratic challenger Gary King with 57% of the vote to his 42%. After the race was called, she spoke to supporters about the progress made and the work yet to be done.
We've got a lot of work to do, but we've made important progress. And I hope that tonight's results speak for themselves. Promises made and promises kept.
And so we have all the election information locally and across the nation on our website at KVIA.com. Stephanie and Hillary.
All right, thank you so much for that, Andrew. And we have a traffic alert to pass along right now. Country Club Road will remain closed at the bridge over the Rio Grande until this Friday. Remember, the roads were supposed to open up today. That's what the signs all said. However, a city official tells us that paving work at the site has been delayed because of the recent rain. So if you're headed in that direction, that is a big headache right there. Just continue to take the detour signs that can be seen on Donovan Drive, Artcraft, McNutt, and Sunland Park Drive. And now on to more election coverage this morning. El Paso Congressman Beto O'Rourke gets to stay in Washington. O'Rourke was re-elected to represent District 16, getting about 68% of the vote. Republican Corey Rohn got about 29%. Libertarian Jaime Perez finished with about 3%. On to the race for District 23, which stretches from San Antonio to Socorro in the Lower Valley. For the 4th time in 5 election cycles, the incumbent and the party has been ousted. Republican Will Hurd is the winner, getting shy of 50% of the votes. Democrat Pete Gallego just got under 48%. It was a close one. Libertarian Ruben Corvalin got about 2%, and with such a tight margin there, it's likely some of those votes did play a role.
As for the Texas and New Mexico Senate races, incumbent John Cornyn will continue to represent Texas. He won a third 6-year term against David Alamil with 61% of the vote. He could become the majority whip. In New Mexico, incumbent Tom Udall wins again with 55%, defeating Republican challenger Alan Way. And to the governor's races, Republican Greg Abbott gets a promotion from Texas Attorney General to governor. Abbott defeated Wendy Davis with 58% of the vote. Davis got 39%. Abbott will replace Rick Perry, who's leaving after 14 years as governor. Perry will leave office as the longest-serving governor in state history.
Texas and the race for State Rep District 76 now. This was the seat held by Naomi Gonzalez. Democrat Cesar Blanco was up against Libertarian candidate Jose Alejandro Lozano. Blanco, the Eastwood High School grad, won this race easily with 87% of the vote. He will become the District 76 rep. And for State Representative District 77, Democrat Marisa Marquez, the incumbent, was being challenged by independent Ben Mendoza. Marquez will continue to represent El Pasoans in Central, North, East, and West El Paso. She won with 78% of the vote. Texas Land Commissioner now. This race had a familiar face, former El Paso Mayor John Cook. He was looking to become the first El Pasoan to be elected to a statewide office, but in the end it did not happen. His opponent, George P. Bush, grandson and nephew of the former presidents, will continue his family's political dynasty, becoming Texas Land Commissioner. Bush wins with 61% of the vote.
Also a decisive yes vote from voters on Proposition 1. Prop 1 addresses the transportation funding shortfall in Texas by allowing revenue generated by the state's oil and gas tax to be diverted to the state highway fund. State Rep Joe Pickett tells ABC7 Prop 1 would give TxDOT an estimated $1.75 billion to move Texas forward. And now to our round-the-clock coverage. El Paso police are investigating a hit-and-run involving a police officer from El Paso Community College. This happened a little before 1 on Artcraft in South Desert near the Upper Valley. Police tell us the officer was taken to the hospital and his injuries are not known at this time. The driver who hit the officer has not been found.
A live look at traffic at 6:07. A nice shot there as the sun is already coming up thanks to our new time change. Are you getting used to it yet?
I've been used to it since I woke up on Sunday with that hour extra
It wasn't
of
a
rest.
problem, right?
Not a problem at all.
It's when we lose an hour that's hard to catch up with.
Of course.
All right, well, members of El Paso City Council do not always see eye to eye. We know that.
But one issue they all agreed on was bringing back the grass to Fort Bliss Cemetery.
I don't think it's any longer a question of if, it's just a matter of when. There's no doubt in my mind that it's going to happen.
How much it could cost the city coming up.
And a fireball lit up the night skies with at least 13 states reporting sightings. Was it a stunt, though? What we found out coming up after the break.
And I got in a little bit of trouble this morning. I forgot what Crystal said yesterday about the forecast. I didn't bring my sweater in, and I was miserable this morning, Crystal.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those chilly starts to your morning, and actually it's going to be another very cool afternoon. Keep those sweaters out. You're going to need them. We'll talk more about what you can expect temperature-wise, but also some chances of rain in the forecast after your break.
This is ABC7, where news comes first.